Please take my advice. Narrator, she did not listen. She did not take my advice at all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
The only problem is that Justin's side is now responding saying, hey, this isn't right. They just want blanket call logs of everything that went down. They'll use this to smear my clients.
Okay, Justin Baldoni is bringing the receipts. And what I mean by that is Justin Baldoni just dropped 10 minutes of unedited footage from It Ends With Us. And this footage seemingly directly negates some of Blake Lively's claims in her harassment lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. At the beginning of the footage, we see Blake and Justin essentially talking about logistics. They're talking about lighting, finding their marks, whether or not they should be talking or just staring.
Candace Owens has once again stirred up controversy, this time involving Justin Baldoni. And Blake Live PR team recent reports suggest that Baldoni has taken a firm stance against what he perceives as a strategic media move orchestrated by Lively's team. While details remain unfolding, Owens has been vocal about the situation, criticizing the alleged tactics and their implications in the entertainment industry as tensions rise. The debate over celebrity PR strategies and public influence continues to gain traction.
Show of hands if you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to drop this freaking amendment. Okay, am I the only person with their hands raised? Are you guys just here to plagiarize because you know I went through every line like a complete psycho? That's perfectly fine. I just want you guys to know rather, that if you're here because you think there's some bombshell in here, as her lawyers were alluding to, oh, wait until everybody sees everything, you're gonna be sorely disappointed, because if clickbait was an amendment, this is it. Okay, I cannot believe it. And there's so much more going on here. Now we really see the target of everything, I think. Really the linchpin for her lawsuit, the person that she went after. We have to discuss Isabella Fair.
The controversy dates back to the troubled production of the romantic drama It Ends With Us, where tensions on set and behind the scenes quickly morphed into a full-blown legal war. Blake Lively, once known for her polished public image and acclaimed acting chops, has found herself embroiled in a bitter dispute after filing complaints alleging that GC Baldoni engaged in inappropriate on-set behavior.
Justin Baldoni is now involving Taylor Swift in his lawsuit against Blake Lively. So Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicists for over $400 million for all the It Ends With Us drama. Now he's name dropping Taylor Swift, Blake's bestie, in the mix. Thankfully, Taylor Swift is not being sued, but she's mentioned in his 179-page paper complaint. And he's alleging that Taylor's fame was used to pressure him during production. And it really all stems from this penthouse situation where Blake and Ryan live. Apparently there was a meeting there with all of them, and Taylor Swift was actually present, and Blake ended up rewriting one of the scenes. And even after the meeting was over, Baldoni texted Blake this, saying, I gotta put my glasses on for this one, the font is too small. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. Really love what you did. Makes it so much more fun and interesting, and I would have felt the same way without Ryan and Taylor.
This was a sinister PR move. Blake Lively then moved 11 days later to file a lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit. And I don't think she ever wanted to do this. I think she genuinely wanted this to be a PR move, and she wanted to leak it to the New York Times. She thought the public would take her side with no questions asked. And instead the public is saying, no, we have a few questions here. And Justin Baldoni is going all the way to the wall on this. His lawyer is already giving interviews explaining just how nasty her team has played this. The lawyer's name is Brian Friedman. He stopped by the Megyn Kelly show, and here's some of the things that he had to say. First, he says there used to never be a sexual claim. There never was a sexual claim until she went to that civil rights office. Take a listen.
There was actually no allegation of sexual harassment until the lawsuit was.
The allegations, ranging from claims of misconduct to accusations of a retaliatory smear campaign, have not only rocked the film's production, but also ignited a media frenzy.
We're going to be talking all things Blake Lively and her legal complaint that she's filed against her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni. Yes, the It Ends With Us movie drama does in fact not end. What's interesting about this story to me is the Justin Baldoni of it all. He is a self-proclaimed male feminist. He's woke. He speaks out against sexual assault and sexual harassment, even toxic masculinity. And now in this legal complaint filed by Blake Lively, he's being accused of sexual harassment.
I challenge you to see if you can use the same qualities that you feel make you a man to go deeper into yourself. And will you be man enough enough to stand up to other men when you hear locker room talk, when you hear stories of sexual harassment, when you hear your boys talking about grabbing ass or getting her drunk? Will you actually stand up and do something so that one day we don't have to live in a world where a woman has to risk everything and come forward to say the words "me too"?
This is gonna be really awkward if these allegations are true. I will say, just for the record, I'm not a fan of either of these individuals, and something about both of them rubs me the wrong way.
Followed by an attempted PR takedown of her to cover his own ass from people finding out what he did to her. In an article titled "We Can Bury Anyone," Blake Lively heroically shared her story, and the world was on her side because it looked like she was just trying to take down a predator in Hollywood. So Justin Baldoni and his ace lawyer launched an all-cylinder fire attack to clear his name, and he started by suing the New York Times, saying that article was just published because it was paid for by Reynolds, and it was a multi-layered scheme planned out by Blake and Ryan to take down Justin. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that the mainstream media will lie on behalf of their powerful friends or anyone who pays them off to say so.
According to recent reports, a new tactic had emerged from Blake Lively's PR team. Sources claimed that someone within Lively's inner circle had been actively shopping around HR complaints to gossip outlets like TMZ and the Daily Mail in an attempt to discredit Justin Baldoni.
It's called Discovery, where they share all of the information that may prove her case, and also Justin will seek information that will prove his. The only problem is that Justin's side is now responding, saying, hey, this isn't right. They just want blanket call logs of everything that went down. They'll use this to smear my client. So I'm going to share what Justin Baldoni had to say, but let's just do a quick refresher of the subpoenas, and then we've got our lawyer friend explaining why they think this is all just PR. So, sending out a series of subpoenas to cell carriers AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, as well as alleged social media manipulator Jed Wallace, the Gossip Girl vet, and Ryan Reynolds want to get a look at the real receipts.
And there are other moments to go like, am I the in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
Alleges that these internal documents, redacted to conceal sensitive information, were being used to construct a narrative aimed at tarnishing Alden's image. The strategy, as Owens put it, was not just about deflecting criticism from Lively, but was designed to bury Baldoni under a barrage of damaging headlines and insinuations about his conduct on set. This move, if true, would mark a significant escalation in the use of internal HR data as a weapon in public relations battles, a tactic that blurs the lines between private grievances and public smear campaigns.
Clickbait was an amendment. This is it. All right, show of hands if you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to drop this freaking amendment. Okay, am I the only person with their hands raised? Are you guys just here to plagiarize because you know I went through every line like a complete psycho? This is actually the language from the introduction. It reads this. In public, Mr. Baldoni gave the appearance of taking responsibility for the fact that he had, quote, unconsciously been hurting and silencing women in his life and implored men to be man enough to, quote, shut the hell up and listen to women. He claimed that he wanted to end toxic masculinity, acknowledging his own toxic behavior by admitting that.
In public, Mr. Baldwin gave the appearance of taking responsibility for the fact that he had, quote, unconsciously been hurting and silencing women in his life and implored men to be man enough to, quote, shut the hell up and listen to women. He claimed that he wanted to end toxic masculinity, acknowledging his own toxic behavior by admitting that, quote, newly released RW footage from the set of It Ends With Us shows an awkward and scripted slow dance between the two stars, a clip that Baldwin's team claims proves nothing more than professional improvisation. However, critics argue the video looks increasingly bad for Lively, suggesting it undercuts her narrative of unwanted advances on set.
It's called Discovery, where they share all of the information that may prove her case, and also Justin will seek information that will prove his. The only problem is that Justin's side is now responding saying, hey, this isn't right. They just want blanket call logs of everything that went down. They'll use this to smear my client. So I'm going to share what Justin Baldoni had to say, but let's just do a quick refresher of the subpoenas, and then we've got our lawyer friend explaining why they think this is all just PR. So, sending out a series of subpoenas to cell carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, as well as alleged social media manipulator Jed Wallace, the Gossip Girl vet, and Ryan Reynolds want to get a look at the real receipts.
And there are other moments to go like, am I the in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to fulfill.
While Lively's legal team insists that every frame corroborates her allegations of inappropriate behavior, Baldon's camp maintains the exchange was entirely consensual and benign. As both sides gear up for a courtroom showdown, the raw footage is intensifying public debate over who's really telling the truth, leading fans and insiders to wonder which side the evidence will ultimately favor.
Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of acting creepy towards her and how the whole set was super tense all the time. But I don't know, that kind of looked like two co-stars getting along. Moving on to another portion of the video. You know, in her lawsuit, Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of making inappropriate comments about her body, which in his lawsuit, Justin Baldoni countered, saying, actually, no, Blake Lively was the one who made fun of my nose. Roll the tape.
I feel so nosy.
I know.
And my noses.
And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then,
Cut.
The newly released footage shows Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni engaged in a slow-motion dance, seen an intimate moment meant to portray their characters' developing connection. According to Baldon's team, the video captures an instance of natural, unscripted interaction. The two actors exchanged lighthearted banter, and Alon even jokingly remarks on Lively's scent by saying it smells good, to which Lively responds in kind with a quip about her body makeup.
Lively's lawsuit, she accused Justin Baldoni of trying to kiss her without her consent during intimate scenes, and she also accused him of making uncomfortable comments saying that she smelled good.
let's score another. If you should
I'm getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup. And they win! They won!
All right, cut. I think we got plenty.
Yes.
Slow motion.
It's also important to note that earlier on in the footage, Blake and Justin actually agree that they don't want to physically kiss because they want to leave the audience wanting more. And it looks like Justin respected that in that video. Again, obviously this is a receipt from Justin Baldoni's legal team, so of course it's going to paint him in a better light. I think it just once again made this situation that much messier. Okay, now I want to...
However, Lively's legal team has countered these claims with a strong statement. They argue that every frame of the released footage corroborates to the letter her account of the incident. In her lawsuit, Lively alleges that during a similar slow dance scene on set, Baldoni leaned in too close and engaged in behavior that she describes as unwanted and unprofessional.
Really destroying Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's image, bro.
What happened?
It all revolves around like fake allegations towards Justin Baldoni, right? So Blake Lively's claiming that there were sexual assault allegations towards Justin Baldoni, and Justin's like, I have all the receipts, I have all the videos. So it's just a lot of drama.
Do you think this is fake beef like Drake and Kendrick?
No, because I think that for either one of them, it's just like detrimental to their career. You know what I mean?
But it ends with us. I want to make this very clear. Ryan Reynolds, if you get past this clip of us talking about your relationship, just know, I don't care. I still love you, man.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
love your movies. I love everything you did.
I actually hope things get so complicated and terrible for you guys that you guys break up and then I slide into Blake Lively's life. That's what I hope.
I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. Everything he says is self-flagellating over the fact that he's a man, but he's, to me, is sort of the embodiment of what happens when you totally emasculate a man. And then she continued, she took that stiletto and stuck it in his heart when he was down there self-flagellating, being so sorry for anything having to do with his testosterone. And so that's what happens to you, right? You run into somebody who seems like a witch who will take advantage of you and hurt you until finally even that kind of a guy rises up. Now, he didn't do it himself exactly. He hired a badass named Brian Friedman. And he has badass women like me defending him. Mm-hmm. But slowly but surely, I think the male class is learning down on the floor, squirming and apologizing for being a man is not
The ongoing legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has escalated further, with Ryan Reynolds becoming increasingly involved during the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special. Reynolds sparked controversy by making a joke that alluded to the legal dispute between his wife Lively and Baldoni, according to Wally Fiston. SNL's cue card handler Reynolds personally pitched the joke, though representatives for both Reynolds and NBC have denied this claim.
Meanwhile, over the weekend, SNL did its 50th anniversary tribute, and there was one moment that seemed to stand out. That was a moment where Tina Fey and Amy Poehler called out Ryan Reynolds in the audience, and it was a little awkward.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Joking about how you and your wife essentially tried to leverage by accusing him of sexual harassment is not amazing. It's not an amazing look. I think it's going to do serious career damage to Ryan Reynolds, and by the evidence, it probably should.
How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
This was the first public appearance for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds since she filed her civil rights complaint. This is a big legal battle for the two of them. So we saw Ryan poke fun at their own woes. Right now, they're obviously going through it. And I have to tell you that there actually is expected to be a big update in that legal saga this week. Blake Lively's attorneys have said that they are going to be filing an amended complaint against Justin Baldoni, and the judge set a deadline for tomorrow. So that can be coming very, very soon.
Candace Owens has recently suggested that Ryan Reynolds, husband of Blake Lively, may be the central figure in the ongoing dispute between Lively and her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni. In a series of Instagram stories on January 24, 2025, Owens shared claims from an anonymous source alleging that Reynolds' unexpected visit to the film set led to escalated tensions.
Who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively, it's not Justin Baldoni, but it is Ryan Reynolds. And now I look at him and I just go, how did I not see this? This is the backstory. Comes to set, reviews the dailies, the raw footage, whatever that was shot today, reviews the script, and then he goes into his trailer, allegedly. Don't gag order or sue me, Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I don't want to be involved in real drama. I'm just telling my audience what I was told. He goes into Blake Lively's trailer and they have an argument. All of the production assistants overheard the argument, okay? Now, what was at the root of that argument? We don't know, but we can assume it had something to do with what he saw in these dailies, what he read in the script. Who even knows what led him to even visit on this day? And the person says that from that day forward, he started involving himself, that he basically became a chaperone for her on set. He was there basically every day, involved in the projects, wanting to rewrite lines, and suddenly Ryan Reynolds was trying to wrangle this project from Justin.
The source contends that Reynolds reviewed daily footage, became upset over aspects of the script, and engaged in a heated exchange with Baldoni. Following this incident, Reynolds allegedly approached Baldwin's talent agency WME, demanding they sever ties with Baldoni.
It's called Discovery, where they share all of the information that may prove her case, and also Justin will seek information that will prove his. The only problem is that Justin's side is now responding saying, hey, this isn't right. They just want blanket call logs of everything that went down. They'll use this to smear my client. So I'm going to share what Justin Baldoni had to say, but let's just do a quick refresher of the subpoenas, and then we've got our lawyer friend explaining why they think this is all just PR. So, sending out a series of subpoenas to cell carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, as well as alleged social media manipulator Jed Wallace, the Gossip Girl vet, and Ryan Reynolds want to get a look at the real receipts.
Justin Baldoni has recently launched a website.
Justin Baldoni has recently launched a website, thelawsueno.com, to share evidence supporting his defense against Blake Lively's allegations. The site includes previously unseen texts and emails exchanged between Baldoni Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, aiming to provide context to the ongoing legal battle.
The legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively just got more intense, and I didn't think it could, because Justin just launched an entire website with close to 400 pages of evidence as he tries to win public opinion in this legal battle between It Ends With Us drama. I don't know anything. Basically, these two are involved in legal disputes. I feel like I've learned more about them in the past few months than I've learned about my friends and family. When you go to his website, there's two different documents, but the first one is the amended complaint. It is 224 pages. And in it, it shows that they found metadata of the New York Times article posted in December showing that they have been colluding with Blake and Ryan for months. And then there is the timeline of the relevant events. That is 168 pages, which starts January 1st, 2019, when he first emailed Colleen about the movie, all the way to January 29th, 2025. That is a 6-year timeline. Like, I've never seen anything like this. This is what Justin wants to let the public know, and this website is live and you could see it for yourself. Like, they're really living up to the movie name. It ends with